Hello, Emmy here, and I'm here to share how I'm making a gouache palette. So, in the past, I made this gouache palette. It's nice and messy, well loved, well used, and some of the colors are rocks. Like this one will not re-wet. I could let it soak for 3 days, it won't re-wet. And other colors, like this flame red, re-wet in so beautifully. So I use this all the time. I love it. It has made painting with gouache so much easier and more accessible than having to get out tubes all the time. And so if I can just open this, add a little water and get painting, I'm much more likely to paint with it than if I have to squirt out every single color into a palette. First of all, I have to find a palette and hope that it's clean, and then, you know, paint, which that anything that puts a kink in the process should be removed. So I've been playing with other colors. As you can see, I have little amounts here and there just to see like what will re-wet. I don't know if it's a perfect test because some of these sat for months and before I started playing with them, and these have only sat for about a week. So I'm hoping it's a similar test. So I bought this little gouache palette, and it has this little lid on it, and that's to keep the paint wet. I don't expect it to be perfect, and I expect the paint to dry out at some point, and so this is like a really good test for that. And because gouache re-wets when it's wet, you can use it again, then I haven't wasted paint. Like if I put acrylic in here and it doesn't work, I've wasted it. So I'm been playing with colors to narrow it down, which is hard when you love every color. I tried to pay attention to like what re-wets really easily, what have become my favorite colors, and what I wish I had in my palette. And the other thing that I've been thinking about is lighter colors, because something about gouache, every single color seems like a mid-tone, and I know it's not, but I think because it's so flat, it just reads as a mid-tone. Sometimes it reads as darker than what it is. So I try to add in a lot of pale colors and white so I can mix more. Obviously, I won't be using this as a mixing palette. I'll have to clean a palette and dedicate it for working with this, or just, you know, remove the lid out of this one and keep using it, which is actually pretty convenient. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started putting them in here, and I'll kind of tell you about each color as I go, or it might get real boring and long and I might need to put it on time lapse. But I have a zinc white. Wait, I think I actually want titanium white. So I'm going to change this to titanium white. And the reason is that some whites are meant to be used on their own and some are meant to be mixed. And I believe zinc white is meant to be used on its own. So I'm gonna use this Holbein permanent white. I'm not filling it all, I just want enough. And if you paint with giant paintbrushes, this is probably not going to be the best solution for you, because these are tiny. Like this is my favorite paintbrush, and it's a size 4 round, and it's gonna fit pretty nicely. But if you like much bigger sizes, this probably isn't for you. The next color is Lemon Yellow by Holbein. This is another color that re-wets really nicely, and I'm not normally a cool tone yellow kind of girl, but something about I think because it re-wets so easy, I find myself using it a lot. and it's really easy to warm up. I'm using an olive green, and this one also re-wets pretty easily, but I like that it's just kind of a standard green color. It's warm, but it can be cooled down. I don't really tend to reach for the cooler green very much, so I chose this one. It's only 16 colors, so I had to be picky. All right, my next one is turquoise green. This is probably my favorite color. And I'm using this aqua blue. It's a newer addition to my collection, and I find that I like it a lot. It's pretty light colored, and I just kind of like it. I'm going to switch the order of these just to put these two together. This one it's from the Iridori collection, and the name is impossible to say. I guess I can try. Just those letter combinations don't want to come out of my mouth. So Myosodus blue. It's really pretty. All right, ultramarine deep. This is a standard color. Oh, that feels a little dried up. All right, some of them I only have in small amounts because I bought a small set, and then sometimes I order and I don't pay attention to what size they are, and you get little bitty ones. See how big the other ones are. And I'm okay with buying like little bitty ones until I know I'm going to use them, and then I'll buy bigger sizes. This one is Prussian blue. It's the closest to indigo that I can find, and it's just a nice dark blue. This is a newer edition. It's Talon's Lilac. I really, really like this color. The Holbein Lilac color it's a lot darker, so I really like this one. And see how it went in there? It's the smoothest formula. I like that. All right, this is the Holbein Brilliant Pink. It's just a kind of standard bubblegum pink kind of color. Comes in handy. This one is Opera Pink. I just bought this and I already love it. I had the rose, the Holbein rose, and it does not re-wet. That's this color that's just a chunk, and it will not re-wet. Here's the flame red that I really love. I am not normally a red, like especially warm red kind of person, but just because it re-wets so easily, it was one of the nicest colors in that palette to work with. I found myself using it a lot. This is the Winsor & Newton Pale Rose Blush, and it's this really nice kind of muted peachy tone. More peach than pink probably. I really like it. Right, then we have Yellow Ochre, another little guy, and Yellow Ochre is one of my favorite colors to paint with. And draw with. I use it in every medium. I just love it. I put burnt sienna in here just to have like a nice color for mixing, because I couldn't fit a black. So if I mix burnt sienna and ultramarine or the Prussian blue, I should get a color close to black. I did make space for gray though, because I love painting with this color. It's a nice kind of base to get started with. Like I used it in the last video I did with the fish painting. I just really like the way it layers. I like the way it mixes with these blues too. So now I'm going to swatch them, and I need to buy paintbrushes just for gouache. I've been using these cheaper Grace Art paint brushes, but I have already destroyed them. Good thing they're cheap, but they are just getting destroyed. So I'm looking at, just in case I destroy them again, I'm looking at some Blick branded. Oh, that is so wet. I'm not used to working with fresh gouache. Yeah, this yellow is so bright, but it's kind of nice to work with. I like the texture of it when I'm painting with it. And that's probably a weird thing to say, isn't it? But, you know, I feel like art can be kind of tactile. All right, there's that olive green. And that turquoise green, so pretty. It's the closest to like an aqua color that exists, even though some are called aqua, like this one's called aqua. I would say this is more like powder blue or something. I don't know, like sky blue, cerulean. I don't know. Color names are funny. How one color name can mean one thing in one company and mean something else, and we all have like our idea of what colors should be based on probably Crayola crayons, you know? Like this would be periwinkle. You know, I painted it in the wrong spot because I will just fix that in the label later. I'll put a little sticker over it. So I was like, what? What happened? Okay. Oh, that is so dry. All right. I love making new palettes because it kind of lets me reflect on what I like to paint and how it's kind of changing. And you know, like you start off and you're like, oh, I need these certain colors. Well, you don't end up using a lot of those colors. Like nobody says that you need lilac, but here I am thinking it's a necessity for me, you know? I just love it. I added way too much water to that. And most people don't love opera pink, but I do. You know, it's a fugitive color, which means it will fade if the sunlight hits it. And I've had that happen to a painting, and it was very sad. It wasn't opera pink, but it was these inks that I was painting with. And it was in a very sunny living room, and I looked over at it one day and almost all the color was gone, and it was just very, very sad for me. And I tried to recreate it with no luck. It just doesn't have the same magic that the first one did. All right. What is your favorite weird color that no one else likes? I would love to know. Leave me a comment. Like maybe it's, that's a weird color. I kind of love all colors, so maybe like a weird brown. I don't know. I don't really reach for browns a lot. I mean, they have their place, you know, but like yellow ochre, it looks like baby poop. There is a color of acrylic gouache that is kind of like a baby poop color, and I love it so much. So I guess that's another weird color I like. All right, the burnt sienna. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of paint because I'm not used to painting with it wet. I'm used to having to scrub at it. So that'll be something to get used to. All right, and so I feel like I have a pretty balanced, for me, color palette here. There's a lot of lighter colors. There's a couple darker ones. I have white in there for mixing. If I need black, I can get it out and put a little dab of it somewhere. And so I'm very interested to see how this holds up and if it stays wet. I don't plan on using it for travel. It seems like too much could go wrong. But if I do, I'll let you know. All right. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you for watching.